I like your background. Is that Dubai?
Yeah, it is. It's from the World Air Games 2015.
I remember watching those flights from the city center.
Yeah, that's where I last saw you, isn't it? Like you were there at the event.
Yeah, that's right.
Where are you now, Eric?
I'm in California, Santa Paula, California.
Okay, this is your very first Zoom call.
This is my first Zoom call. You're my first.
Welcome to the world of lockdown interviews, my friend.
All right.
So what's been going on for you? What have you been doing these last few weeks? Tell me how you've been coping during this crazy times.
Last few weeks, I can't say I can complain very much. It's nice weather here, and I'm kind of out in the country, so even though things are upside down and all backwards, I'm still able to basically do what I want to do. Been doing a lot of flying, a lot of bicycling, and basically just trying to get everything ready for the season, whatever that might look like.
Yeah, how's it looking at the moment for you there in California?
Well, we basically just got the news that most of the things are going to be pushed back a year. Poland, which is supposed to be the host of the World Championship this year, has not made the decision to cancel it yet. So I guess there's still an outside chance that they'd go forward, but it's looking like everything's going to be pushed back a year. So probably the international season is going to be a wash this year. Although in California, we've got a few contests scheduled in October, November. So, things recover a little bit, we might be able to still have a decent season at the end of the summer. So getting ready for that.
Good chance there for competing. We don't have many American sailplane competitors, do we? Mostly European.
That's true. We've got a few. We're working on growing the sport here and working on growing the team a little bit. We've had maybe half a dozen pilots over the last half a dozen years that have showed up. Most of the contests I've flown in Europe, I've been the only U.S. pilot over there, but we've had 3 or 4 or 5 other pilots. I was happy. Last time I came over, we had 3 pilots, so we actually had a full advanced team for the first time, so that was pretty cool. And last year we had Laura Radigan representing us in advanced, and hopefully next time we have a contest, we'll have some of that momentum to be able to bring a fuller squad. That would be a really cool thing.
Brilliant. Are you involved in coaching with the newer competitors?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done a bit of coaching, honestly, mostly international with other teams. I've worked with the British team. I've gone over and flown with the Italian team and the Polish team the last few years. They've been real generous in letting me fly their equipment in competitions, as have, a lot of the international team have flown French glider, German glider. So it's I've really benefited from the basic generosity in the sport. But yeah, in the US, oddly, we're more spread out. So we've got a couple pilots, forgive it, we got an airplane flying over. We got people in Florida, people in Arizona, people in California. So we're pretty spread out. Sometimes it's even easier for me to go over to Europe than it is to get around to the different states. But I have worked with a few of the pilots that we have in California and a few that are working on their own independently. So we are still figuring out how to coalesce as a sport in the US, but things are moving in a good direction. We've got a lot of competitions in California that have been thinking about incorporating gliders into their events, and it looks like we're going to have this year we had planned on already having a competition, but we're still hoping to have a glider competition in California in October and possibly even November. So it could be a few events. So happy about the growth of the sport right now.
Oh, that's excellent. That's really good news. And what about the air show scene? That is looking quite decimated right now.
The airshow scene, I haven't participated so much in the airshow scene yet. I've been pretty competition focused. Obviously, a lot of the airshows are starting to fall like dominoes. We have already Sun and Fun, I think it's canceled. Oshkosh, everybody knows, has pulled the plug. So these are pretty big events that are pulling the plug. And I've seen some lists of other, airshow events the list is long of the events that are shutting down. That being said, with the contest season kind of a wash this year, it does kind of give me a chance to focus on other parts of flying. So I probably will be, doing a little bit of training that's a little bit more display flying oriented this summer.
Tell me about your first time competing in sailplane. How did that come about?
I actually got my start in competition in powered airplanes, although I did get my start flying in gliders, just because there aren't very many glider competitions in the U.S. Powered was the place to get into competition. So I flew my first few competitions in powered, flying with safety pilots in the pits and an extra. And then I was able to join a partnership in a Yak 55, like the one you see behind me. I flew a couple seasons flying the Yak, and was doing okay, flying the advanced category in California. And then the glider port where I learned to fly, they bought a Fox, and they brought a Fox home. And so that was a real opportunity to jump into gliders again and hit it pretty hard and seriously. And so that's what I did. And so when they brought the Fox back, it was maybe 6 years ago. I basically focused on that, and the first competition I flew was the U.S. National Championships, and that was kind of, all these. You're never quite prepared for a contest as much as you want to be, but that was really especially the case for that one. I had a couple days checking myself out in the airplane and sort of getting a handle on flying the unlimited sequence with it. And then I hit the road with the trailer with the glider behind me. I actually got T-boned in Albuquerque on my way out to Texas, and sort of had to limp this halfway broken vehicle all the way out to Texas. It's like a 3 or 4 day drive to get out there. So it's a pretty serious endeavor to get out there to fly the one contest we had at the time. And I was hoping to show up and win the first contest and be a hero and all that, but Jason Stevens, he just straight up outflew me, and so he took the trophy. It was a long drive home, but came back the next year, was able to win that contest. And but the most exciting thing, and my favorite part of the sport, has been showing up internationally and getting to fly the World Championship. So after my first contest in the U.S. in Texas, I went over to Poland in 2014. That was my first contest. And that was just an amazing experience, because I was showing up, absolutely nobody knew who I was. There's no reason to, didn't know, me from anybody else on the street. No reason to trust me to fly a glider. But the Polish team was just unbelievably generous, and they let me fly their Swift, which, the generosity it takes to trust somebody, especially somebody you've never met, to fly your precious airplane like that. It was just, an unbelievable experience all around. And then to get in the arena with the big names and the big experienced world champion glider pilots, it was just, it's always a special experience to be in the lineup. Even now, after flying 5 or 6 or 7 world championships, I'm still, pretty big fanboy when I get in the lineup behind Kaminsky and he's taking off in front of me. I kind of want to get out of the glider and take pictures rather than focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. So I enjoy every minute of it when we have the world championship events.
What about taking your equipment abroad? Shipping your gliders around the world.
Well, so I don't have a glider actually. So I've relied on the generosity of the. Forgive, there's a helicopter going by here, so it might be hard to hear me here.
I'd like to hear it. It's all good.
I'll let them pass by. It's one of the joys of living in an airport.
Yeah.
So I've always borrowed equipment. So my first season I was with the Polish team. Second season I came back and trained using the Italian equipment and spending the summer with the Italian team. And did a few seasons that way, and then was back in Poland for the last couple of contests. And basically just been, it's a great sport that way. The glider sport is a little bit more collegial. Not to say that the powered sport isn't collegial, but we have more of a club environment in the glider sport because the equipment is a little bit more, let's say, homogenous. There's basically one glider, 2 gliders that are relevant. So we have the Swift or the Fox, and they're all basically set up the same. So you can jump in anybody's Swift or anybody's Fox, and you're basically at home if you're comfortable in that airplane. Unlike the powered situation where everybody's glider's everybody's airplane is a little bit more personally set up for them.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, listen, Eric, it's absolutely fantastic to catch up with you, and we look forward to seeing you back in Europe at the next competitions.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Good catching up with you. Thanks.
Thanks very much for your time, Eric. Really appreciate it.
Take care.